What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Dormy Wormy. I'm coming at you with another video. And award season is just around the corner. The time of the year in which all of Hollywood and the entertainment industry comes together to give themselves one big, massive circle pleasure session in which they all gallivant in front of the world and tell everybody how much better they are than you. Yeah, award seasons aren't really that entertaining now, are they? But we ended up having some new information come out about this year's Oscars qualifiers and how many of them aren't even eligible for Best Picture. Now, that's interesting to see, but normally I wouldn't actually have a discussion here and I wouldn't be talking about this if it wasn't for the fact that one of the films that aren't even eligible for Best Picture this year is none other than Sonic 3. The Academy says that Sonic 3 is ineligible to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. And again, normally I'd roll my eyes at this. I'd say, what's the big deal here? It's the Oscars. Nobody really cares about the Oscars anymore anyways. Again, it's nothing more than Hollywood elites coming out here to pleasure themselves in front of you, all while saying that they're better than you, even though half of them went to Diddy parties. Again, this wouldn't be news if it wasn't for the odd fact that Venom: The Last Dance and Kraven the Hunter are both eligible to be nominated for Best Picture. Wait a minute. Venom: The Last Dance, which was one of the biggest mez of mez can be, which I keep forgetting even came out this year because it was so meh, is qualified for Best Picture, along with Kraven the Hunter, which was possibly one of the worst outings for any of these Sony Spider-Verse movies, because following the release of Kraven the Hunter, for example, Sony immediately announced that they're canceling any of all their Spider-Verse films from this point forward, because all those movies were monumental disasters. Audiences rejected them outside of the Venom movies, and yeah, people laugh at them now. They mock them. Now, I mean, Madam Web is looked in some sort of a high regard, but it's basically the same high regard that The Room gets. So, okay, these two movies can qualify, but Sonic can't? That doesn't make much sense at all. Especially when we start taking into account, box office results. Sonic 3 is still tearing it up at the box office, just running away with it all day and night, destroying movies like Mufasa, destroying anything in its sight, and being a monumental success for Paramount Pictures and the Sonic franchise as a whole. And again, it's probably going to end right around where it was supposed to end, about $700 million. It's doing what it needs to do. And the other two movies being Venom: The Last Dance, which, yeah, that's successful. That's the lowest one out of the Venom trilogy. And again, I keep forgetting that even happened this year. And do we even really want to look at Kraven's box office results? I don't think so. These other two movies are basically failures outside of Venom. Sonic is a success. Audiences love it. Critics are enjoying it. Everybody's basically positive about Sonic 3, but it can't get Best Picture? I don't know what's going on here. So I decided, okay, let's look into these rules of eligibility, shall we? Let's see what actually guarantees you even getting into the awards. So we could scroll right on down here to see what's the eligibility standards. And well, when you start reading through some of these, it makes not much sense, but this is just to get into the ability to get nominated for any award at the Oscars. Eligibility for academic awards consideration is subject to rules 2 and 3 and to those specific rules approved by the Board of Governors that follow. All eligible motion pictures, unless otherwise noted, see paragraph 9 below, must be feature length, okay, publicly exhibited by means of 35mm or 70mm films, or in a 24 or 48 frame progressive scan digital cinema format. Okay, that makes much sense. For paid admissions in the commercial motion picture theater and one of 6 qualifying U.S. metro areas, Los Angeles, City of New York, so on and so forth. Okay. For a theatrical qualifying run, at least 7 consecutive days in the same commercial motion picture theater. Okay, simple enough. advertised and exploited during the theatrical qualifying run in a manner normal and customary to the theatrical feature distribution practice, and released within the award year deadline specified in Rule 3. Okay, it meets all those. So let's scroll on down to what qualifies you to be within the best picture of the years. Okay, what's the qualification for best picture of the year award? All remaining list of eligible motion pictures shall be made available along with a nomination ballot to all active and life members of the Academy. Upon completion of the initial qualifying run, currently defined as 1 week theatrical release in one of the 6 US qualifying cities. Okay, we get that. So these are some of the examples of what has you expanded theatrical run of 7 days consecutive or non-consecutive in 10 of the top 50 US markets. Okay, simple enough. For late in the year films with expansions after January 10th, 2025, distributors must submit release plans to the Academy for verification. I'm willing to bet they did that. Release plans for late in the year films must include planned expanded theatrical run as described above to be completed no later than January 24th, 2025. And last I heard, yes, Sonic was actually getting an expanded run and actually getting more theaters to add on to it because it is such a monumental success. So, okay. Non-US territory releases can count towards 2 of the 10 markets. Well, I mean, they released in Japan, so okay. Well, I mean, the global release didn't happen until like Christmas, so okay, you got that. Qualify non-US markets, including the top 15 international theatrical markets, plus the home territory for the film. Okay, did all that. What else do we have? Eligibility in the Best Picture category is contingent upon submission of the Representation and Inclusion Entry Form, RAISE, and the motion picture meeting the requirement of 2 out of the 4 representation and inclusion standards. What? Oh, that's right. The Oscars have DEI baked into them, and you must have inclusion and representation in order to even qualify for being a Best Picture. So I'm pretty sure Sonic has representation in it. I'm pretty sure Sonic has everything you need, considering Idris Elba does play Knuckles, and you have ladies, you have all this stuff. So why the heck can't it fall into here? Why is it not following into here? None of this stuff's making sense. And as we keep getting on, it gets more technical and more like very specific on the style of market and stuff, but nothing makes sense. Venom and Craven both are eligible, but Sonic isn't. Make this make sense to me. One of them is being loved left, right, and center. People are excited for it. People are constantly looking forward to going to theaters. People are constantly raving about how wonderful that movie is. And the other two, one people forget even happens, and the other one basically cemented the downfall of the Sony market. Make this make sense. Make this make logical sense. Because I could keep reading through all this stuff. Sonic qualifies. Sonic should qualify. So there must be some sort of very minute thing that makes it not qualify. There must be something very specific and stupid that makes it not qualify. But again, this continues to double down on the point. All these award shows are no longer meant for people like us. All these awards are no longer actually valid. There exists nothing more to stroke their own egos, to pat themselves on the back, and to prove that they mean absolutely nothing. If these awards actually meant something, Sonic would be up there. Now, does Sonic deserve Best Picture of the Year? Probably not. There's probably a much more entertaining film that deserves Best Picture of the Year. But they don't care about that. They've never cared about that. Game shows are literal trash in the grand scheme of things. All these shows exist to do one thing: stroke each other's egos. It doesn't matter if you get nominated. It doesn't even matter if you win. It's nice to see geeks get a win sometime and have maybe Deadpool and Wolverine win the Best Film Award at the Emmys or something like that, or at the Oscars. But chances are it's going to go to something boring, lame, and that is just pretentious all over the place, when there's tons of other movies that are probably more justified in winning it, being it Deadpool and Wolverine, Sonic 3, things like that people actually really enjoy and actually want to talk about, and what fans actually like. But again, Hollywood's not here for the fans, they're here for each other. But I'm gonna leave it there. Let me get you guys thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video go live, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.